All right, so in number 4, going to play, make sure it's playing. There we go. Okay, we want to find the surface area and volume of a sphere with a radius of 9 centimeters. Since it is a sphere, we need to look for the formula of a sphere. And in this case, surface area is 4 pi r squared. And therefore, we're just going to substitute the value of r of 9. So 4 times 9 pi, 9 squared pi. And then 4 times 9 squared is 324 pi. That is in centimeters squared. And again, I prefer your answers in pi. Okay, this one's an easy one to leave in pi. For volume, 4/3 pi r cubed. So 4/3 pi times 9 cubed. And you don't need to multiply the pi, you just need to multiply the 4/3 times 9. So if you're going to use your calculator, please make sure that you use parentheses. So you're going to do parenthesis 4 over 3 times 9 to the power of 3, and you're going to get 972. So your answer is going to be 972 pi. Okay, so volume is 972 pi, surface area is 324 pi. That was just, I like to call those plug and play. Plug them in, substitute, you're done. Okay, number 5 isn't quite so easy because you want to find the radius and volume, but what are you given? You're given the surface area, so that means that's where you have to start. You have to start with surface area. So surface area equals 4 pi r squared. You know 256 pi is equal to 4 pi r squared. And then you have to solve for r, which is the radius. That's what you're looking for. There's a pi on both sides, so cross them out. Divide both sides by 4 to get rid of that 4 coefficient. So r squared equals 256 divided by 4, which is 64. Take the square root of both sides, and your radius is equal to 8. So now you found the radius. Your radius is 8. Now you're going to plug that in the volume formula to find the volume. So 4/3 pi r cubed, which is then 4/3 times pi times your 8, what you just found, 8 cubed. And again, if you want to put this in your calculator, you can do 4/3 times 8 cubed. And now you get a decimal. Do I want you to give me a rounded decimal? No, you can turn this into a fraction on your calculator. I don't know how many of you have actually done it. I've showed you guys a couple times. But you hit your math key, and then if you error a fraction and hit enter, it'll say answer to fraction. And your fraction is 2048 over 3. So you write volume is 2048 over 3 pi.
Did it have to be like that?
I would prefer it like that.
So when it's a decimal and you're finding the volume, then you should put in a fraction?
Yes. Okay, and then leave the pi. Okay, number 6 is very similar to what we just did. You want to find the volume given the surface area. So we just walked through how to do this process. Okay? Except for they just don't ask you to find the radius, but you know now that you have to find the radius from the surface area in order to find the volume. So 36 pi equals 4 pi r squared. Cross out the pi's, divide both sides by 4. Radius squared equals 9. Take the square root of both sides, and your radius is 3. Once you found the radius, now you plug it into the volume formula, just like you did in number 5. So 4/3 pi times 3 cubed. So 4/3 times 3 cubed is 36, so 36 pi. That was an easy one, and then your answer should be in inches cubed. Let's see if I wrote that. Okay, for number 7. 7 is a little bit more complicated. You have to find the volume that has a diameter of 14 and a height of 19. Leave in terms of pi. You know since the diameter is 14, what's the radius? 7. It's half the diameter. So pi times 7 squared times 19. So therefore 7 squared times 19 is 931 pi, and that is in feet cubed. Okay. Let's look at number 8. Number 8 says the volume of a cylinder is 36 pi inches cubed. They give you the height, and they only want the lateral area. So they give us the volume. So let's start with the volume. Okay, volume of a cylinder is pi r squared h. Okay. So volume is pi r squared h. Here we go. I'm going to plug in the parts I know. So volume equals pi, and again I was given volume. So let's go ahead and fill in that V as 36 pi. So we're going to put 36 pi in for V. And then my radius is what I'm looking for. And my height, I'm given the height, so I actually want to substitute in for the height instead of h. I want to put a 4. There's a pi on both sides, so I can cross those out. And now I'm going to divide both sides by 4 and get the radius squared equals 9. Take the square root of both sides, and you get the radius is 3. So just like I did up on number 6. Okay, now with the radius of 3, I only want the lateral area. So what is the lateral area? Well, my formula for surface area of a cylinder is 2 pi r squared, or 2 times the area of the base plus the lateral surface. So 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi rh. Do I need the bases if I only want the lateral surface? No, so I can just cross out the base, and I'm only looking for the 2 pi rh in this case. So that's what I'm going to substitute. 2 pi times 3 times 4, which is the radius and the height, which is 24 pi. And that is in inches squared. So kind of squeeze that in, 24 pi inches squared. All right, number 9, a right pyramid. This is exactly like number 1, except for instead of 4 congruent triangles, this is like number 2. But instead of 4 congruent triangles, you have 3 congruent triangles, because the base is an equilateral triangle. So 3 times half times base times height. So 3 times half, your base value is 6. Your slant height is 10. Substitute those in and simplify. Half of 6 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 10 is 90 centimeters squared. So that one's exactly like number 2. But you only have 3 triangular congruent surfaces. And then finally number 10. The base of a right prism is an equilateral triangle, so a prism. So this is exactly like number 1, except for it's an equilateral triangle. So the equilateral triangle looks like that, 6, 6, and 6. Okay? So now I need to find the height of that triangle because I have to calculate the area of it. So 6 squared equals 3, because that's just that portion to use Pythagorean theorem. 3 squared plus the height. Okay? So 36 equals 9 plus height squared. Take the square root of both sides and your height equals. Now, can I simplify root 27? You can, actually. Root 9 times root 3, the square root of 9 is 3, so 3 root 3 is the height. So that's the height of the base. So that means I'm going to substitute that in. The area of the base is the area of that triangle. So the area of that triangle is half times 6, which is the whole length of the base, times 3 root 3. So see, half times 3 root 3 times 6. And then the height of the prism, see, the height of the prism is 8 centimeters. So that's what you're going to put in the volume formula, is the height of the prism. So now I'm going to simplify half times 3 times 6 times 8, which is 72 times root 3 centimeters cubed.